It is November 9th, and you are watching You Don't Watch Sports right here on the Feo Grande YouTube network. I am Bill Smith, and I am joined, as always, by the man, the myth, the legend, Feo Grande himself. Oh, Mari Ellis. Oh, Mari, how was your sports week, baby?
Hey, it was all right. The Panthers got a win. That's a rare thing to happen. So, you know what? Yeah, it was a good win. It was a good sports week.
All right, we're going to cover three topics here about that sports week on You Don't Watch Sports because that's what we do. We sprinkle just a little bit of sports information into your casual conversation as we are the guiding light through the sea that is sports talk. Let's go into topic number one, Omari. NFL, we are already at the midpoint of the season.
Yes,
Time
we are.
is flying. Before you know it, we'll be dealing with these Thanksgiving games, and then before you know it, it's gonna be postseason.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
let's talk about what's going on at the top of these divisions.
So, yeah, at the top of the divisions, halfway through the season, we'll just go through it real quick. At the top of the AFC East, it is at the moment seems to be a one horse race over there, and those horses are Buffaloes, as they are the Bills at 7-2 at the top of that division. But again, there's still a whole nother half of football to be played, with the next highest team in that division being the Jets at 3-6. Looking like it's Bills time up in the AFC East. In the AFC West, we have our soon to be 20-0 fundamental solid football playing Kansas City Chiefs, showing everybody how it's done at 8-0, continuing to be undefeated throughout this season. Chargers are the second closest behind them at 5-3. Broncos also 5 wins, but they haven't had their bye week yet, so they have one more loss behind the Chargers. In the AFC North, however, that's a thing that's heavily contested. Right now, we had the Steelers again with that whole bye week already happened. Technically, have only had 8 games, so they are 6-2. Technically, at the top of the season. However, the Ravens played this past Thursday and technically have one more win, 7-3, after that shootout with the Bengals that led to I think it was 34-35 or something ridiculous at the end of the game. Jamar Chase and Lamar Jackson going up for 40 to 50 fantasy points each. And they were both on my fantasy team. Lol. Um, just saying. Also, the Texans lead the AFC South at 6-3, but the Colts are only 2 games behind them. In the NFC, Commanders surprising a lot of people with Jaden Daniels, their new guy, 7-2, leading the the NFC East ahead of the Eagles at 6-2, with Saquon Barkley doing 360 hurdles over people like it's nothing. But that's what's going on there. How about them Cowboys? Them Cowboys is down here with the rest of us in the Smellyburg. Uh, let's just say at 3-5. At the NFC West, boy, that division right now is led by the Cardinals, but it is anyone's division as the Cardinals are only 5-4, and the next 3 teams each have 4 wins. The Rams, Niners, and Seahawks each have 4 wins, 1 game behind the Cardinals. Who knows who's coming out of that division? It'll be tight going throughout the rest of the season. The NFC North. Now, this is a tight division for different reasons because it's 3 strong teams up there. The Lions, the Kneecap Biters, the Carnivores, MCDC, and the Boys, 7-1, leading that division. Sam Darnold and the Vikings surprising a lot of folks. It's the second place in that division with 6-2, and the Packers, business as usual because they're not allowed to have a bad season. They're at 6-3, right up there with the other 2. Bears, however, only 2 games behind the other 2 teams in that division in second place. But right now, that is the division you don't want to go against in the NFC. The division you do want to go against is the NFC South, as it was a 2-horse race between the Falcons and Buccaneers, but now the Falcons are 6-3. Do you like that, Atlanta fans? Because Kirk Cousins is taking you to the promised land, or so it seems. It is Atlanta. We'll see what happens in the playoffs. But the Buccaneers who work hard on their heels, have lost all their wide receivers damn near to injury throughout this season. And after their game against the Chiefs this past Sunday or Monday night, not looking good for the Buccaneers. But they don't have anything to fear from the two bottom teams in that division. The Panthers and Saints, both 2-7. Pack it up. See you next year.
Omari, do you think any of this changes some of our early season predictions? There's only a few surprises here, and they're mostly on the NFC side of things, where we already kind of talked about that this was going to be a AFC strong kind of year, it felt like. And then especially with we had our NFC unit mostly talking about the 49ers, who are a 500 ball club right now.
Yeah, 49ers also got hit with the injury bug early on. Christian McCaffrey, Mr. Madden curse for the team. You don't want to believe in it, that's fine, but the coincidence still occurred on the cover, on the bench. It happens. You don't like to see it, but it happened this season to them. However, he should be coming back soon, and like I said, they're one game behind, so they could easily turn around. All you got to do, as the New York Giants proved to us when they took down the 19-0 Patriots, all you need is that 9-7 foot in the door, and you can win the Super Bowl. So they can still come back and turn this season around if the injuries come back. That said, only team that really super surprises me is the Commanders, because we didn't have them on our radar at all. We were at least rooting for the Lions at the start of the season. Like, hey, they made it to the playoffs last year. Let's go Lions. Nobody had Commanders on their radar. The Chiefs being 8-0, the Bills running that division. The Dolphins at 2-6 saddens me. But again, injury.
Right.
And a massive one at that to the quarterback. But no, right now it's looking like, I think I said Chiefs Ravens was probably AFC. I was hoping for Dolphins, but Chiefs Ravens was more than likely gonna be the thing, and that still looks like they're on the collision course. NFC, the Niners being down and the Commanders being up is different, but hey, them Lions 7-1. Let's go.
Let's go Lions.
I don't trust any NFC South team, whoever makes it out. I said that on week 2, and like they were 2-0, the Falcons and Bucks.
All right, you want to move on to topic number 2?
Sure, let's go ahead.
All right, we're going to do a little bit of MLB free agency preview now that the season is over. We got a big off season ahead of us, and I want to run down some of our top free agents and then maybe a couple of sneaky acquisitions your team could acquire. Obviously, number one with a bullet is...
What's up, Ibn, by the way, in the chat?
Oh, hey, Evan. Number one with a bullet is obviously Juan Soto. This guy is a dominant player, reaching free agency at one of the younger times that you can reach free agency because of how young he started playing baseball. Juan Soto is an on-base machine. He is a lineup altering piece like very few others in the league. He is a top 5 player in the league.
I've heard the
almost
name.
Every year of his career. So he just finished up his year with the New York Yankees, where they of course lost in the World Series, and he is now potentially moving on. He has basically every team in the league should be checking in on Juan Soto. Will they? Likely not. We have our big money teams that are probably going to be checking in, along with a couple of others. The big ones on the radar are obviously both New York teams, the Yankees and the Mets. You also have your Dodgers, your San Francisco Giants, and then you have a surprising one, Toronto Blue Jays have already made it public that they are looking to go all in for Juan Soto. Does all in for them really match the dollars that New York and LA might be able to offer? Possibly not. But they also have the interesting argument of never having that guy
For the Blue
that could
Jays.
become
Yeah.
the
The
face
face.
of the Toronto Blue Jays for possibly ever. Like that's the kind of career that Juan Soto is going to have. If he retired tomorrow, he would probably go into the Hall of Fame. Um, so you're acquiring someone in a legend status role potentially, and they just don't really have that guy. And that's the kind of sales pitch that you could potentially offer a Juan Soto if you're the Toronto Blue Jays. Otherwise, we're probably looking at high dollar here. He and his staff are likely searching for the new high benchmark
Okay.
for a position player being paid on a per year basis, which is currently set by Shohei Ohtani on a perceived annual value of around $46.5 million. I say perceived annual value because if you rewind our show back several months where we talked about Shohei Ohtani's new contract,
Yeah.
it is very interesting where almost 90% of it is being deferred
To
till
the back end.
when he retires. The Los Angeles Dodgers only actually paid Shohei Ohtani $2 million this season. Um,
Oh my goodness.
so that's an interesting one. Should we look for that kind of interesting deferment situation? I don't really think so
I just hope these
because
players have something in there for injury.
oh yeah, baseball is guaranteed contracts.
Mm.
We're good to go. We're good to go on that realm of things. Guaranteed contracts, they're getting that money, really no matter what happens. And Shohei Ohtani's special because he's making so much money in endorsement deals
Yeah.
just in his home country of Japan alone.
True.
Um, that he doesn't need baseball money anymore, which is probably why he decided to make this deal.
That
I
actually
don't
makes
know if there's
sense.
really anybody else on the league on his level in that regard anymore. So Shohei Ohtani is once again a unicorn on this planet in that regard. I will Juan Soto receive that level of money? I don't think so. Because I think once you reach a certain level of money, it's not just about how good you are on the field. The discussion starts to become what money are you making for this team to
Justify.
justify that. Like and although Juan Soto is an incredible baseball player, he has won an MVP.
Yeah.
He's he's not a sexy baseball player, if you feel me. And I don't mean that in
The
a literally
numbers.
attractive sense.
The
I just
numbers
mean
don't
like,
really stand
yeah,
out.
he's an on-base machine, which means he walks and he never strikes out.
Not
Like he's still gonna
floating.
hit yourself a bunch. He's still gonna hit a bunch of home runs. I believe he set a career high watermark in the 40s this year. Still
Ooh,
a ton of home runs.
yeah.
It's not
Like one every 4 games.
it's not I don't know if I feel that it's the butts in the seats, jerseys
Mm.
on the backs kind of
Okay.
player.
Well, I will say that I've at least heard of the guy as someone who's super duper casual when it comes to baseball. Juan Soto is one of those names. That said, probably could I would probably assumed he played for like the Yankees or and not whoever he played for. So there's that. So I can kind of see where you're going because I haven't seen any Juan Soto jerseys.
All
I
right.
mean,
Now
haven't seen the jerseys.
I'll roll through several others because it's also going to be an extremely strong pitching class this offseason, Omar. We have Corbin Burns, a great starting pitcher, former Cy Young winner. He is expected, he is looking at the Mets, returning to the Baltimore Orioles, maybe even the potential of a Boston Red Sox hire is the word on the street for Corbin Burns. Then we have a very interesting case of Roki Sasaki. Roki Sasaki is a young man in Japan right now, pitching for the National League over there in Japan. And he has requested his release from his team there, where it works a little differently. Like you have to, the teams are negotiating the teams who want to acquire him over here are negotiating with the team as well as Roki. And it's almost kind of this weird hybrid of trade and free agency kind of thing. It's never with players. You end up having to pay the team money as well as paying your free agent money, is how the Japanese acquisition system works. Um, so he has declared that he is eligible. He was only 23 years old, which is extremely young for players coming over from Japan. And he is an incredible pitcher in that league. He appeared in the WBC where he was very dominant against players outside of Japan.
World
Um,
Baseball Classic.
yes,
Okay.
tournament that happened a little while ago, 2 years ago. Um, so he is likely coming over, and the strong assumption is that he will be a Los Angeles Dodger. And it's hard to not think that that's a strong possich when
Yeah, when all the other Japanese
two of his
players are on there.
two of his teammates from Team Japan, Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Shohei Ohtani, are both on the Dodgers. His entire country has become a very strong source of Dodger fans because of Shohei Ohtani specifically, and Yoshi obviously doesn't hurt that scenario. Um, and himself, or Roki, just watched his entire country and his former Team Japan teammates win the World Series.
Yeah.
It's it's kind of a dream scenario if you were a kid coming into the league.
Yeah.
It's kind of right there in front of you
Yeah.
to play with some of your friends
Exactly.
on a really good team.
I wanted him. I want these free agents to go to the Cardinals, but talk about what's not sexy on paper.
Other than that, we're probably looking at the new high benchmark for a guy coming over from Japan. So once again, you're looking at your big money teams. Other than the Dodgers, you got your Yankees, you got maybe your Padres, you got the Mets, and then it kind of dies out from there. Maybe you might have a chance with your Giants. Um, Very unlikely for any Midwest team or down south.
Okay.
So let's hit on some of these other pitchers much quicker. Blake Snell, left-handed pitcher, former Cy Young winner. He kind of goes great year, okay year, great year, okay year. He's on his okay year. This coming season will, in his pattern of life, maybe be one of his great years, potential Cy Young year. So that's going to be a big one. He's going to command high dollars. Max Fried is another left-handed pitcher just below. Maybe you might argue more consistent, but also coming off of some injuries. So that would be tough there. Alex Bregman is a big veteran, third baseman who I believe has announced that he is open to moving around a little bit if the team needs him. He can play second. He can play first. Maybe he can be a corner outfielder for you. A lot of people are assuming that he will return to his one career team, the Houston Astros. But he's kind of somebody who could maybe go anywhere. And then I want to also highlight two surprise picks that might improve your team. You have Shane Bieber, who's only turning 30 this coming year in 2025,
All
but
right.
coming off of Tommy John injury. Good chance he's not going to be available till maybe June. But look for a team that is confident about their pitch coaching skills and medical staff rehab to invest in 1 year, maybe 2 years of Shane Bieber, uh, thinking that they can rehab him and turn him into the man he once was at maybe year 25, 26. Had a little bit of a down couple of years, and then unfortunately had that heart injury. So I'm looking personally for a bounce back from Shane Bieber. I would look for him to go to a smart pitching team like, I hate to keep saying this, but the
No,
LA Dodgers.
no, they got
Uh,
enough. They got the
um,
Japan connection. They got the whole country of Japan playing. Japan's been passing us up in baseball.
uh,
Let them
you
go
have your
somewhere else.
your Houston Astros, Seattle Mariners, I would say. Uh, Maybe deep down on the list, a St. Louis Cardinals. Like, I don't believe that's the best place for them because I don't really have a whole lot of confidence in my team right now.
I
Um,
do.
I think he needs to go somewhere with a better coaching staff. Um, but we'll see about that. And then number 49, Harrison Bader. He's a veteran at this point, former Cardinal. He's not going to be a sexy guy for you. He's going to hit eighth, maybe ninth in your lineup, but he's going to have some speed. He's going to have great defense. And I can personally tell you from watching him for multiple years, he has the clutch gene.
Mm.
When a big at bat is needed and Harrison Bader is up, somehow that man makes it work. He keeps the ball moving. If he's not hitting the game-winning home run, he's taking that walk. He's getting hit by the pitch. He's doing a slap single over the shortstop. Harrison Bader has that clutch gene. So at number 49 on the MLB free agency list, deep down in that roster, I would say great acquisition for a team that is looking to be in contention because he is a great guy to just have on your roster at the end of the year.
The Darth. Yeah.
And that's a big windy free agency preview, Omari. Let's head into topic number three, NBA. What's going on with these Bucks?
NBA. So, yes, the NBA season's underway. We're about an eighth of the way through the season. About 10 games out of the 82 game season that is the NBA. So, a good time to just check in. And so far, as you mentioned, the Bucks down at 2-7. They've got
Is it panic?
it looks like it because you got Giannis Antetokounmpo, you got Damian Lillard, and everybody else on that Bucks. The Bucks just won the championship 2 to 3 years ago. Okay, and that was after Giannis had two back-to-back MVP seasons. This ain't a team of scrubs. However, 2-7, they got Doc Rivers. Legendary coach Doc Rivers. That guy who is now known more for going 3-1 and blowing 3-1 leads than he is for winning the one championship he did for that team up in Massachusetts. You know what I'm talking about, the green one. The, the Boston Celtics. But no, I don't know what's going on, but it seems like there seems to be more and more frustration visibly, and even I'm seeing stuff on Twitter of you see Giannis having the backstage interviews or whatever after the game and just go talking to someone off camera. If you don't like it, you can leave type shit. So people are not happy up there in Milwaukee. Where they are happy is Cleveland.
My goodness, boy, did I fuck
Yes.
up because I told you the team to watch out for in the West on the come up was Omari's Orlando Magic.
In the East.
Boy, was I wrong. Or yeah, I'm sorry, in the East. Yeah, that team is absolutely the Cleveland Cavaliers looking sitting at 10-0 right now at the start of the year.
Indeed. Yeah, the Cavaliers 10-0 with Donovan Mitchell going crazy. He had a great game-ending shot the other day, the buzzer beater to keep that to go up to 10-0. They're going strong. The Lakers 5-4. They after that 3-0 start to the season they had, but they're in 8th place in the West, while the Suns are at 8-1 up there with the Thunder and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Steph Curry and the boys right behind them at 7-2. Can't sleep on Steph Curry. Who you can probably sleep on at least for a little while is Bronny James Jr. He's going to the G League. It's time. They're gonna go. They already had their little cool moments. They had their LeBron and him playing on the floor at the same time. They had their Bronny gets his first NBA points moments. And I think it's a good thing for them to do because they're not really planning on using them unless it's really in blowouts, whether they're getting blown out or doing the blowing out.
Hmm.
But there's already been two times now where the crowd, one in Cleveland, and I think it was another one as well, where the crowd, where they were like losing or it was starting to be a blowout and the crowd was starting to chant for Bronny. And so when it's like, okay, you're becoming that much of a distraction just sitting on the bench, let's go ahead, take you off the roster. They can't chant for you if you in the G League. Also, get you that extra experience you need because you're not there yet.
Yeah, I mean, man, is it we were talking off camera before the show started. This is what a tough road to walk, and uh if I was in his shoes, I would have never ever chosen it. Um you had the avenues and the likely privileges that come with LeBron James being your father to really choose any cool career path in the world. I want to be a DJ. I want to be a director. I want to be a musical artist. I want to be an athlete in any other sport. And
I
and
feel
your
like
dad
LeBron
would
would have
have,
done it.
yeah, he would have
It was in his
financially
power.
supported and back, like, I get the impression LeBron James isn't, well, I mean, he definitely allowed his son to be drafted onto his own team, but I would like to think that LeBron is a, you're still going to work for it, but I'm going to get you the best trainer. I'm going to
Yeah.
get you the best coach. You're going to be a filmmaker. I'm going to get you the best camera, and you're still going to learn how to do it yourself. But I'm going to supply whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
And yet he chose to follow his dad's footsteps in basketball,
He's got the
the
same
footsteps
name
of a
too.
guy who is in the talks, whether you want to debate things or not. He is in the conversations for greatest ever to do this thing. And you're going to be like, yeah, I'm going to do it too.
On
Uh,
his team. And
your options are to be one of the five best players in the league, or you will constantly be shat on for your entire career. And your best case scenario is to be an average player where, like, 10 years after you retire, folks can be like, well, yeah, he had a tough thing following LeBron, and he still was a very good, if his name was Joe Johnson, he had a mighty fine average NBA career. But no, because his name is Bronny James,
LeBron
he,
James
he is
Jr.
going to be under a microscope for his entire life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's bad enough that the last name is James. The first and middle name are the exact same too. Like you cannot escape being compared if you wanted to. So, but at the same time, like you said, I do feel like whatever field his kids wanted to pick, he would have done the same amount, at least the same level that he could to manipulate them getting in the door.
Right, just like he did with basketball. He
Yeah,
clearly he clearly helped along the way.
yeah.
I'm sure he made sure that Bronny had the best coaches available whenever he wasn't personally coaching him. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure he made sure he was in the best basketball school possible to be on the best team possible. I'm sure he did all of that. I'm sure he knocked on several doors in the back offices of the Lakers just to be like,
Technically, that's what
"Hey,
he was.
that guy that I see might go in the sixth round at number 42. I don't know. He looks pretty good. Maybe you do him in the second round. Who knows? Maybe he's an LA Laker. I'm sure he did those things.
Oh yeah,
Because he's,
no, he
yeah.
definitely orchestrated getting that motherfucker on the team, and that because he planted the seeds years earlier too. Just
Yeah.
like put it in the zeitgeist. I want to play with my
He,
sons,
he's gonna play with his son before he retires. He's been saying that for quite a while.
and now people are like, "Is he gonna play with both?"
Yeah,
No.
Alrighty. Let's close this baby out. That was the NBA. We talked NFL, MLB, NBA, all the big three there. If you like to see us talk about other things, we talk about a lot of nonsense. On Mondays, we have a mock draft occasionally focused around this fantasy wrestling league, but we also talk about a lot of different things. Speaking of wrestling, if Ibn's still in the chat, is still in there in the chat, we're going to be doing a very cool thing with Ibn here coming up, where the Feo Grande YouTube network is going to decide the 10 best wrestlers of 2024. That's right. We're all three going to compile 10 a list of a top 10 where we determine the absolute 10 best wrestlers of 2024 as far as Feo Grande YouTube network is concerned. Ibn is learning this for the first time as I'm saying it. But he's gonna love it, and we're gonna get that out to you before the end of the year. That's on Mondays. It's mock draft. On Tuesdays, we do whatever we know. That's a different show. On Tuesdays, we watch different things, passing them back and forth. It's called This Guy Hasn't Seen.
Oh, yeah, this guy hasn't seen. You're right.
And then on Wednesdays, we also have Whatever We Want with Omari and a friend of the show, Super Jazz.
Super Jazz.
As well as this show that you're watching right here on Saturdays, You Don't Watch Sports, where we go live every Saturday morning. So make sure you click that notification bell, I think, so that when we go live, you get told that we are live. And as always, like and comment your topics that you would like to see us talk about here on these shows or things on other shows that we do. Omari, where can they find you on social?
Oh, they can also find me on socials, Giotavi. That is Giotavi. I also have the Twitch. Come on in, stop on by. I'm streaming every day right now. Earth Day 240, as they call it. What does that mean? Who cares? It's streaming every day. That's all you need to know. Yeah, and it's really all else I got for now. Lol, I didn't know doing a top 10. Lamau says it. Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure Ibn's just now learning about this. But yeah,
You know now.
Now you know. And knowing's 3/4 of the battle. Omari. Anyway, we'll see you guys.
Stay tuned for that. That's gonna be a big cool episode.
Yeah. We'll see you guys when that happens. See you next time. Adios, this.